What's up, y'all? It's your boy Denim Jeans back at it again with another video. James Harden got traded, yo. I don't know what to think about it. I can't say that I'm surprised based off like the news of the past week with him being unhappy with things in Houston, and feeling like the team is going nowhere. So it was inevitable. And there had been trade talks about James Harden, all throughout free agency, all throughout the offseason. Mostly centered around either him going to the Nets, which he happened to end up going to, or the Sixers in a trade centered around Ben Simmons. So this isn't necessarily a huge surprise, but I did think he was going to be with the Rockets a little bit longer into the season than he is now. I thought he'd be traded closer to the trade deadline, instead of in January of this year. So he's a net with KD and maybe Kyrie if he ever decides to come back. But that is 3 top 15 players in the NBA on one team. Kevin Durant, top 3 player. Top 3 player in the NBA. James Harden, top 7 player, and then Kyrie, probably 15 to 20 range. And it's scary. That's probably the best team in the East right now, at least on paper. They gave up a little bit of their depth by getting rid of Jared Allen and Karis LeVert. And even a little bit with Karooks, but like not that much. But they got back James Harden, one of the best players in the NBA, the best shooting guard in the NBA, and arguably the best scorer in the NBA. A lot of people have worries about this trade just because of all the people on the team that need the ball in their hands to be successful, with Kyrie, James Harden, and KD all being ball-dominant players. But if you get the opportunity to add a top 7 player to your team, you do it, and you just hope that it works out. And that's a risk that you're willing to take. It's kind of funny because the Nets did something similar to this a few years ago, when they traded all their assets for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. And it didn't end up working out then. But the player that they're getting now in James Harden is miles better than those two. He's a former MVP, and still one of the best scorers in the NBA to this day, arguably the best in some people's opinion. But the official trade, the Nets got James Harden and a 2024 second-round pick from the Cavaliers. I don't know how they got a pick out of this trade when they're getting James Harden, but the Nets had to give up a lot, and I mean a lot, to get James Harden. They gave up Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, the rights to their 57th overall pick in 2017, Alexander Vezenkov, Karis LeVert, Karooks, and this is what really surprised me. They gave up 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2022, 2024, 2026, and 4 unprotected first-round pick swaps in the odd years, 21, 23, 25, and 2027. Karis and Karooks and the picks, the picks and the pick swaps all went to the Rockets, who also got Dante Exum and another first-round pick from the Cavs. So this is a really good haul, I think, for the Rockets, because they also received Victor Oladipo in the trade as well from the Pacers. So they got Oladipo, and they got a lot of draft capital back that they had lost when they traded for Russell Westbrook a little while back. And they gave all their picks to the Thunder to trade for Russell Westbrook. They just got all that draft capital back. They got a former All-Star in Oladipo. Obviously, he's not as good as James Harden, and he never will be. But they still got a solid, dependable player on their team that can help them potentially make a playoff push. But those picks and those pick swaps really made it, in my opinion, a good deal for the Rockets, for both sides. The Nets get a top 7 player, and then the Rockets get their draft picks back. Not their draft picks, but get a good number of draft picks back and a solid player in Oladipo. And then the Cavs received Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, and they also got Dante Exum. Sorry, They got Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, but they traded Dante Exum in a first-round pick and then a 2024 second-round pick in order to get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. So I don't really know. Like, the Cavs is more, really a lateral move. I think the Cavs have too many centers now in Drummond and Jared Allen. And, oh, my God, I can't remember the third one. I have to look it up real quick. Oh, my God. They have Drummond, Jared Allen, not Kevin Love. Maybe it is Kevin Love that I'm thinking about. Either way, they have a log jam in the big man position. And that's, like, fine, because now you can just let Drummond expire and get him off your books and then hopefully use that cap space to sign somebody in next year's free agency. Or maybe you try to trade him at the deadline and get a little bit back for him because now you have Jared Allen as your center for the future, which I really like because he can grow now with Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. But this shit is crazy. But I like it, man. It shakes up the NBA. It gets another contender in the East. I think the Nets were a contender with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, but I think James Harden just puts them as my favorite to win the East now. That's assuming Kyrie does come back and still plays at an elite level. The Rockets, they're going to be worse. I mean, that's just how it's going to have to be for them. Kind of sucks for John Wall a little bit. And DeMarcus Cousins, who were looking to come back and make a deep playoff run. But that's okay. That's fine. It's not always going to work out for everybody, you know? But James Harden to the... Wow. That's all I got to say about it. Let me know what you guys thought about the trade down below in the comment section. It's crazy to me. I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out. But all I know is if James Harden doesn't win a championship in the next 2 years, he's never going to win one. But that's all I got for y'all. Peace.